See that in the sky? Space shuttle must have went off last night. This only started. We're a little cockeyed, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. That's a little better. I'm going to show you the sun coming up. Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. It's, somewhere in between, stand back a little bit, somewhere in between 6:45 and 7 o'clock. Today is October 16th, October 16th, 2025, I'm sorry. It's very early in the morning. My chickens aren't even up. I haven't fed them yet, so I just wanted to show you that thing in the sky. I didn't get up. I'm going to put it back over there. I didn't get up. I didn't look out there this morning. Normally I do. I'm trying to see if you can see that star right there. Can barely see it right there. That's the... they're probably going to say it's Venus. But in old times, they would say that that was the Eastern Star. Power line's kind of in the way, right? And then I'll show you the moon. Maybe it'll come in. I might have to zoom out. Oh, there it is. That's the moon. You can't really see it like I can. But it's still out. And then this lovely weird thing over there. Probably should have came out here this morning and looked. I got up really early in the morning and then I went back to sleep. Because who wants to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning when you only slept a couple of hours? All right, so hold on. I left my paper. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Well, you're still coming with me with sound. Hold on.
I think a lot of times we need
All right. Sorry, I left my paper. I was watching Brandon House this morning with Worldview Network. He's no longer on Free Speech Network with Mike Lindell, and I kind of wonder why that is. Not because I want to get into gossip or anything, just because I want to know. See, I found him years ago before he was on with Mike Lindell, and he does an educational, like a documentary set at on Sundays at 10 o'clock, which is like, he's Central Time, I'm Eastern Time, so it kind of didn't work out now because I go to sleep before then. So I'm going to let you see the sunrise. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. All right, so people, there's some things we got to really start thinking about. That high, priests, rabbis, not rabbis, they don't talk about Jesus. Sorry. Maybe some. No, wait, there's a couple. But anyways. I hate it when I get that shit backwards. So, if Jesus is sitting at the right hand of God, how is Jesus God? See, there's only one God. Jesus is God's son. Okay? And when he said, I do as the Father does, that also makes him two different entities as well. And I don't see how people get that, mixed up. Jesus is not God. God is God. Jesus is God's son. And that's important. Because I'm on uneven ground because my chickens put holes everywhere. Jesus was God's only begotten son. He wasn't a God. You don't get to be God. And, one time Enoch was standing up there. These are in stories. He was up there and doing what God told him to do. And somebody else says, oh, you can do as the Father does, so you must be more divine than he. And Enoch got whipped for that shit because he said, you took too long to answer and say that you were not, because that's it. God is God. Jesus is not God. We do not become God. We are workers for God and children of God. Does that make a little more sense? Hopefully somebody will get that. Because it's important. Things being changed constantly and people saying, well, my meaning of this is not cool. See, for me, I can't read stuff and then say, oh, it means X, Y, or Z. I read stuff and I take it for exactly how it's saying it. And I also read stuff and I can see the bullshit lying in it. You know what I'm saying? There's I don't know how to say it, but I take, as I read things, especially the Bible, exactly how it says it. And there's no rapture. I have not seen one spot there where it says rapture. And you're going to say, well, Jesus said he's going to come here. Jesus said he's going to come here and be with us. That's not a rapture, bro. And also Jesus said that he'll send the comforter first. Where's the comforter at? The messenger of truth, right? I'm not saying me, bro. Okay? But I'm saying, because I've been reading a lot over the years and understanding. So he has to send the comforter first. So how is any of this the end times if the comforter hasn't come yet? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of questions here that people aren't being and the other part is Israel, not all the stones were overturned. I don't understand that. And no, I'm sorry. That was the wrong word. I fully understand what's going on here. Listen, I've said this before. You wouldn't believe with Charlie Kirk, but you'll believe the next time. Israel's about to do some shit on us, and they're going to try to cover it up like our country always does for other countries. Or they do the planned attack so they can get us all to go along with their game. I don't go along with none of it. Okay? We're living in a surveillance state. Stop looking at other countries thinking their country is worse because you're agreeing to all of it here in this country. And that's a fact. And if you can't come to that conclusion yet and see that there is cameras going up everywhere, I'm going to let you see the sky some more as it comes up. That's why we're out here so early anyways. You know, I mean, cops should be concerned too, because their job's going to be taken from them as well. Every single person who works anywhere is going to be replaced with robots. You only have to pay one price for a robot, and they'll probably sell insurance for it, so they'll come out and fix their robot for them, or you pay X amount of money for an upgrade, just like they do with these phones. And everybody will have their, what do they call it, their income. You know, you get your monthly check. There's no reason to, my neighbors are home or out, it's very early. There's no reason to think that everything's just going to be okay. Everything is, they're pulling everything off exactly the way the globalists want them to. We're already been shedded on by all this shit that they've put in all these people that decided to get that brain interface, and people are just okay with it. They've sprayed it in the air via smart dust. They want to surveil everything. They want to know the vibrations off of the trees, off of the grass, off of the flowers, because they're trying to build a meta. And you guys are right along with it, wearing your little Google glasses and all that other stuff. I'm almost kind of embarrassed talking out here right now because my neighbor's out there, and I just don't want them to think I'm a little crazy, because I am. We really got to start thinking about things a little bit different. We got to be willing to change our mind, or willing to open it up enough to understand that things are going on that are unexplainable. And I'm going to talk about that at 8:15 tonight. Let me rephrase that, around 8:15 tonight, because sometimes things happen when you're trying to go live from a studio that you don't use that much. It's not even a studio, it's a spare room. And you know, sometimes you got to do, what are they, upgrades or whatever it is, updates. You know, it's hard for some people to understand that they are opening portals. It really is. People are having a hard time coming to grips with that. And they're going to have to. Because I've lived in Florida pretty much my whole life I only lived out of Florida for a short amount of time. And I've never seen rockets go off and make these designs, I don't know what to call it, in the sky. I've never seen that before. I'm 46 years old. I used to live 45 minutes away from NASA in East Orlando, in a neighborhood called Bonneville. And let me tell you a little story. When we were younger, some of the other kids in the neighborhood, well, they weren't really kids. Well, kind of. Anyways, they changed the name of Bonneville and put Bonerville. It was hilarious. But that's where I grew up. I grew up right on the other side of UCF. The people who sold the property to UCF are called the Percivalles. There's actually a road and a lake named after them, Lake Percival, because they owned all of that property. I knew the quadriplegic, and that was his family. And they sold that property to him. My mom went to UCF, University of Central Florida. That's the whole reason why we moved to Orlando. I remember when Alafaya Trail was two ways. I remember we used to ride our bikes on the East-West Expressway right there at 50. And there was no cars on it. We remember when it was put in. That's that's Research Park that they that it goes off into, but they don't name it that anymore. They took the signs down. There's a lot of government stuff that goes on in there, and there's a behavioral center in there too. You see, I've seen rockets go off my whole life. So the things that I'm seeing now are not the same, and I know that there's a lot of other people that are feeling the same way. I wish I think I'm coming back to Central Florida. I don't know yet. There's a lot of weird things that are happening here. And as our government is more worried about other countries instead of our own, we should be concerned about that. They don't give us all the information, and then they only tell you what makes them look good. Or they tell you, oh, this is good for you, but it's not. Really, it's not. So, on that note, we're almost 17 minutes in. I got to get to, I'm cutting my head off. I got to get to feeding my chickens and everything. I already got their stuff ready. You try to have a good day. And remember, 8:15 tonight, I won't be coming on at in between 7 o'clock and 7:30. I'll be coming on at 8:15 approximately. And I'm going to show you some news and stuff, which I believe is important. So I hope that I see you there. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And always remember that you are loved. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're needed. And you are loved. Okay? My name is Angela Fagg. And just know that there are people out there that will help you. I promise you that. I've been there and done that on many different levels. And I'm never going to say that I'm any better than myself. Okay? Have a wonderful day. And I will see you at 8:15 approximately